One.
Hello and welcome to the Week 13 recap, Week 14 preview. I'm Chris or Aaron. How are you, Jason?
I'm doing good, Chris.
Yes,
I,
yes. It was a
just
great victory
absolute.
for Mahoney this week. It
What did you say?
was a great victory for Mahoney this week. But
I just.
I have some thoughts about how things are going.
I'm ready for it. I am not
Good.
starting the. I am not sharing. I am not sharing the screen of the show. The floor is yours. Was there? I've not been prepped on anything of this. I'm really shocked. Uh, was there any sort of wager that happened this week?
Well, I'm the commissioner, so I just showed up and I knew what time this was going to happen. So here I am. And I mean, I beat the Cobras handily. I
You beat
tried
the
to get
Cobras 140 to
No.
95.
Jerry Judy had no chill. He just kept hammering the Cobras.
Okay, let me get the PowerPoint up of your game uh with a huge victory. Uh Play from current slide, go here and then share screen. Tell us about this victory.
Well, I just scored more points. I mean, it's pretty simple, Jason.
Well, let me ask you this. When if you were to just see the first line, if you were to just cover up, just see Burrow scores 43, you score 17 from Herbert. Would you think that you would have been victorious over the Cobras?
No.
Tell us what it feels like to have 140 points with a quarterback only scoring 17.
Well, I will say Thursday was a lot of fun. Thanksgiving was a good day to
Okay.
have three players in each of the games really do well. Um, and then Burrow and Chase just were like, meh.
Well, that those scores are something that I only dream of with CJ and Nico. You'd have to have
Yeah,
somebody as good as
not
like
happening.
Will Levis and Westbrook Akine if I were looking for those sorts of points. But yeah, so you have a big day. I remember a text early on when it looked like Chicago was going to lose 100 to nothing against Detroit. You texted me in one group thread and you said, "I'm not feeling good about Keenan Allen."
Right, which somehow that changed the whole outlook of the second half because the first half he had nothing. And then after I sent that and that I actually stopped watching the game and then I checked back and I was like, whoa, he has two touchdowns. That worked out pretty good.
So then you go to the
I
cow.
cannot take this anymore. I said you could watch. I
Oh,
said you could.
sorry.
What time is it? Get out.
Oh gosh.
Jeez.
What have you been doing?
Get out of here. Some people you give them an inch. Jason, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you had to endure whatever that was.
No apologies. I gotta say that it was just absolute shocking development on the show to be able to have that screen come down and have it not be you. That was quite the surprise for me, but I'm sure to our listening audience that was tremendous. Thanks, Chris, for hijacking the show. Now, did you bet him this week that if he would beat you by over 40 points, he got to come onto the show?
No, but just as commissioner, he pushed open my door. I tried to close it. He did that thing where you put your foot in the jam, and
Yeah.
then Caden like came over the top, and he was hitting me, and the two of them forced their way in, and they had me tied up in the back room. I would not have allowed. I would not have allowed that kind of D minus broadcasting on my screen. You got to bring the heat when you come here. But he did bring the heat this week, Jason.
Oh.
I got just curb stomped by Jerry Judy, that bum, and it was a disaster.
Now, the game was over before Jerry Judy stepped on the field.
Yeah, that's what made it just an epic curb stomping.
I mean, he didn't need 235 and one with an extra with a
Yeah.
extra point. I mean, holy
Yeah.
smokes.
No, look, this is how smart I am. When I saw he started Keenan Allen and Jerry Judy, I thought Chris was such a rube. I was like, oh, this innocent, like, oh, he what a pathetic little creature that I pity for his lineup choices. And he just, absolutely just Samoa dropped me. It was, it was really, it kind of ruined my Thanksgiving because, 4 touchdowns for his guys, 0 touchdowns for my guys. Uh, how am I expected to enjoy my third serving of sopapilla cheesecake when it's just Mahoney, Mahoney, Mahoney? It's like, just shut up and let me just enjoy this. And he couldn't. He just couldn't. He just had to keep scoring. Uh, it
Yeah,
was,
you weren't thinking that you'd be out touchdown by two when it came to Amon-Ross St. Brown versus Keenan Allen after the way that
no,
that game went.
no, I was feeling pretty good about that position battle, and it was obviously a disaster. Uh, I it was kind of doomed from the start. He outbid me. I had a bid in for the Cowboys defense.
Oh,
So that right there was a 13-point swing.
yeah.
So I was just a cascade of kind of disasters here. I mean, I feel okay about a 95.
You would have beat some teams.
Yeah, yeah, one I can think of. Um, but look, yeah, and it's amazing. You brought up how Chris did this with Justin Herbert having such a puny score. It's Chris's highest score this season. It's his highest score as far back as I could be bothered to look. He's reaching new heights here.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Uh, yeah. And just for fun, I looked up. I've been the recipient of the high score of the season from Chris, Brandon, and Jeff. 3 people gave me their best punch. It's just no fun.
That's what you get. That's what you get for taking the time to put on this show, taking show
Yeah.
notes,
Yeah.
buying a
Yeah.
camera, this high production value. That's the things you get is
Yeah.
everyone's best shot.
Yeah. It's rude, right?
Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I don't
Jerks.
know this phrase. It's probably from a movie. Can you tell me which one it is? If you come at the boss, you best not miss. Is that from a movie or something?
Sounds like a rap lyric, which would be more your
Hmm.
expertise,
Hmm.
right?
I'll have to
Uh,
look it up. Oftentimes, it's movie references that I've heard the phrase, but I have no
yeah.
idea what it comes from. So,
Yeah. Well, Usual Suspects. He's like, how do you shoot the devil in the back? What if you miss?
oh, maybe
That's
that's what it's from.
it's the neighbor of what you're saying.
Huh.
It's adjacent.
Yeah. My goodness. So speaking of the word adjacent, I just hated that word in geometry in when I was a sophomore with Mr. Suzuki. Uh,
Uh,
Anytime he said the word adjacent, I thought he was calling my name out in class. I would just be like, always turn and look and be like, yeah, I thought I always needed to answer one of his questions. It threw me off the whole year. Never got used to it.
uh,
So
Jerks.
I,
That's why you are how you are now.
dude, this is I have been thrown for a loop. What a start to the show. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. Thanks, Chris, for coming on. Uh I'm
Yeah. I didn't
ready.
have any say in it. I mean, he just coerced me.
I literally was shocked. So that was really special. Hopefully maybe there'll be another opportunity for us. Maybe Caden will join us later. Maybe he can be part of his video production class in school is coming on the show. Uh but I have some speaking of the show, I just wanted to reach out to anybody in the league who may be having a hard time with their year. Maybe it's not going the way that they would have liked. Just a few recommendations, or perhaps as next week is the last week of the regular season, you're feeling like, what am I going to do now that
Yeah.
the season's over? Or perhaps you're just tired of football, tired of watching your team not do as well as you wanted to. I've got some suggestions that I'm just going to just sprinkle through the show. First one's just going
Good.
on a walk.
Positive.
Just
I like that.
just the idea of getting outside,
Yeah.
taking a break from your players not scoring touchdowns and watching your opponents score multiple touchdowns. So just my first recommendation, go on a walk. I think a walk just solves lots of problems.
Oh, it's
So
a delight. Yeah.
yeah, do you like going on walks?
Oh, go on walks almost every day. Probably 350 walks last year.
Yeah, I just love I love
Yeah.
a good walk. So yeah, there's my first recommendation before we get to a breakdown of
Mm.
this game, which was an absolute beatdown. Gosh, the I didn't see this coming. Um, and I got to say, the Broncos last night playing Jameis Winston, one of the best Monday Night Football games in
It was
football
so
history.
great. Just yeah, just bombs. There was that consecutive plays where it was like 70-yard touchdown, 50-yard touchdown. It was like, yes, just bring it. And Jameson he's a lunatic. He's like he's like an idealized Dante Culpepper. Like he's all the all the interceptions and all the big plays, but he's also like seems like a great guy to hang out with.
Oh, the best!
Yeah.
For those of you watching online and not listening to this as a podcast, I've actually included the Jameis Winston stat line of 67.8 here,
Yeah.
underneath the Rhinos on the Rhinos bench here. Uh, what a moment! I mean,
Yeah.
uh, it just was an incredible game. 497 yards, four touchdown, one 2-point conversion, three interceptions, and 11 yards rushing for 67.8. He did crack 70. I texted you when he cracked 70, but then that last interception, took him down to that little notch.
Yeah, that
He
was like,
didn't
oh.
quite get to the absolute the peak of the league, which is to break that 70 mark when you're a quarterback.
I looked these guys up. Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, not only their best game of the season, but the RT Sports, the easily sortable data, it goes back 4 years. It's the best game either of them have had in 4 years
Whoa.
on Jeff's bench. Jeff's got a quarterback crisis. I don't know. How do you? And now that the games like really count, whew, that's tough. That's tough trying to sort through there. Um, I imagine Jameis had some 67-point games the year Josh got the championship with him, but man, it's at least 4 years. It's wild.
It's awesome.
Josh had to gamble. He had to play cold weather Tua, and the Dolphins stunk, but there's Tua, 51 points, over 50 points 2 weeks in a row. He's a solid starter 3 weeks in a row. And then Achan has 3 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. And I mean, I've been on the receiving end of those Achan receiving touchdowns, and it sucks. So uh, that seems to really be working for Josh now. Top kicker in the
What a
league. Go
coaching
ahead.
move. What a coaching move. I want to stop you
Yeah.
because he's got Purdy. We didn't know it was going to be absolute. I didn't know it was going to be an absolute just snowstorm. And Richardson going against New England. And yet, I mean, everybody talking about how Tua is not a cold weather player. I mean, I mean, Pastor John talks about being a good GM, bad coach. Sometimes it's something he's been saying around the office as we've been talking about the league. What a coaching move to put in his highest scoring QB by a ton to ensure
Yeah.
the victory. I mean, it was a great move.
I mean, it's the tale of two teams here. One guy got the quarterback call right, and the other one didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. You can continue
So,
with your notes. That's really good. I had to
yeah.
just think like, man, that had to. I wonder if Josh wants to let us know on the message board, or perhaps maybe a talk with his family now on the couch as they look over the beautiful Rogue Valley, uh, to be able to say what was it that what Josh felt like he should go with Tua even in cold weather in Green Bay. So yeah,
Yeah, the only other thing I was going to point out, number one kicker in the league, Boswell comes through with 14 more.
yeah,
That guy's been just money.
yeah.
Um, and then Jeff gets the goose egg on the bench from Kyle Pitts, but here's Jonnu Smith just carrying teams now.
Yeah,
So
incredible.
good job there. He
Yeah.
made the right call there.
Big game for the Rhinos this week. Can't wait to preview that. We're gonna start with the Rhinos and end with the Rhinos. So let's keep going to talk
Yeah.
about this game, which already happened. I'm sure that do you have any other notes
Nah,
after you and
nah,
Chris have already taken a look at it?
we've given this enough airspace, I would say.
Okay, well, gosh, last night we had yet another team go down into the third quarter of Monday Night Football for the third week in a row. A team has agonizingly both won and lost on Monday
Yeah.
Night Football in the second half of the game.
Yeah, it's been some great drama. Cortland Sutton's been having a great year. Chad needed him to come through on Monday night, but he took his time. It was like what 5 minutes left in the third quarter,
Yeah,
and finally Sutton makes the catch. And there's been like all these scores and all these players just flying around. Nobody could cover anybody. And finally, yeah, Rompers put Hellhounds night night. Man, strength of the Rompers though. Running game, 41 combined points. Say Irving, probably the top rookie running back.
awesome. So
Uh,
proud of him.
yeah, Oregon boy.
Yep.
Mendenhall, good scores. Sam Laporta ties his season high. McConkey solid. Barkley, he's always terrific. Um, but if John benches CeeDee Lamb or Cooper Cup, puts in Najee, it's a win.
Yeah.
But I mean, that takes some. You got to make December football choices now, and then that's like a December football choice. You're going to bench CeeDee Lamb for Najee Harris because at the beginning of the week it sounds stupid, but
It sounds so dumb.
yeah,
I don't blame him at all. If I had CeeDee
no,
Lamb playing at 2:30 on Thanksgiving, and I'm going to
yeah,
start him. I'm going to start him. And Cooper Rush hasn't looked as bad as he did the first week.
yeah. No, you could justify it. That's what I'm just. Yeah, this is the time of year, man. It's tough. Everything counts.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah,
Well, congrats to the Rompers. Just had to be excruciating to be able to have your your week start with two big games. Three, Hellhounds had three players going on Thanksgiving, and then he ends at midnight on Monday night. Just an
yeah,
agonizing
excruciating.
week. Just an agonizing week.
And just right there, just
Man,
so close.
look at this. Look at this game too, man.
Yeah,
This every game. This is I don't know. I'm too bad we don't have shows like this in our whole history to be able to go back and watch. But
oh,
the games this week have been especially these last few weeks have been so close and so good. Um, Josh Allen in the snow is though hard to beat. So tell us about this
it's
game.
well, I mean, it's a shame that Josh Allen's such a glory hog. Like he's already the best passer on the team. He's already the best running back on the team. And that's not enough. He's got to be the receiver too. What a guy! Like no wonder Stephon Diggs couldn't wait to get out of town. Like let some other guys play, buddy. Ah, give me a break. Jahmyr Gibbs, worst game of the season. Wimpy scores from Swift. Not too much to get excited about here, other than just I mean, of course I was joking. Josh Allen was such a boss. Like Purdy goes to throw the ball and it just goes flying, squirting over here. Josh throws the ball and it's just a missile. It's just you'd think it was a spring morning. Nobody else can handle the ball. They're flying everywhere. He's just grabbed. No. I don't know. For both these teams, I'm scratching my head looking for stuff to be optimistic about. Like McBride's got a ton of passes and yards. He still has no receiving touchdowns this year.
Obviously,
Rico,
Josh Allen has more touchdowns. I think I saw that on Twitter or X,
yeah,
right? Right now,
yeah,
Josh Allen has more receiving touchdowns than Trey McBride.
it's the truth. Yeah. Rico Dowdle has his best game of the year on Thanksgiving. Now the Bengals are coming to town, so maybe something there. But I don't know what to be excited about really. If I'm either of these teams heading into the playoff stretch here.
Yeah, I want to read Jay's tweet to the league, especially for the family members that sit around and watch this for their Tuesday and Wednesday night entertainment. Uh, but Jay texted us at 9:31 p.m. on Sunday night. There's no way Josh Allen can get credited for two TDs for that one play. That is some major. Excuse my language for Josh's kids. I'm just reading the news. I've got to read. That is some major dicking over if it stands. So I mean, just what a play. So
Yeah.
obviously, it wasn't the exact difference in the game. I mean, he would have won, by just a little bit less. But just a historic play in fantasy football history for sure.
Yeah.
But it had to be crippling for Jay to watch that and to see how it was scored. Do you think it should have been scored that way, or do you think it should
I
have? What if you were in the charge of the fantasy world? How would have you scored it?
I think I mean I think it's officially scored as a catch and a throw by Allen. So I think letter of the law, I think you got to give him the points there. Now, what I wouldn't mind seeing is a provision put into our rules so that that doesn't count in the future. But I think for right now, I'd say you got to just play it as it was called by the league.
Okay, so here's another question for you guys. As people, I'm sure will be. I'm actually going to stop the share and just go live for us right here.
Big
Okay,
screen.
so do you think that we will look back 40 years from now with NFL football and think that the way that the NFL players in this generation so far up to 2024 did not lateral the ball as much as they could, we'll look back and just be like,
Oh,
well, how silly were those ancient football players? We used to think like, the forward pass was such a big deal, right? Like
yeah.
once teams begin to forward pass, like you've seen Kelsey throw that little
Yeah, he's the one I was thinking
backwards
of.
lateral to some other players so they can get more yardage. Now we
Yeah.
have someone doing that to a quarterback.
Yeah.
Do you I think 5, 10 years. I think that if you're gonna do that in the snow, like to your quarterback, why Detroit like in a dome? Why are they not going to be doing more hook and lateral plays,
Yeah.
using more laterals in the future? I actually think this could be a
Well,
moment
that's
they'll
the
come
other team
back.
that does it.
Yeah, I
We've
just
seen them do it this year.
oh okay, tell me more.
Well, I can't remember specifically, of course,
Yeah,
now that you're calling me on it, but yeah, I've seen like they do a lot of the little pitchy woo, like
pitchy woo woo.
yeah,
I think it might be the future of football as there's going to be some teams, and it could be what usually happens, a college team that's like, you know what, we need to take advantage, like Boise
yeah,
State. We
yeah.
play on
Somebody
turf.
innovation.
Yeah, like, hey, let's start creating,
Mhm.
so many more plays. Like the Boise State Fiesta Bowl touchdown against Oklahoma, right? That they're just like
You're a jerk.
those hook
You're
and
a
lateral
jerk person.
moments.
That's that was no need for that. That was uncalled for.
Let's
That
talk
is like
about
a
the
that's a
Karate Kid
that
falling
just
under
coming up from
500.
behind, low blow between the legs, just cheap shot, Jason. Shame on you.
Oh,
Coming in
let's
here with
talk
the
about
boys.
Jaden Daniels scoring 3 touchdowns in the first half, and the Chargers with 4 interceptions, a touchdown, and a sack. And the Karate Kid who continues to not be able to score more than 95 points in any game in
Yeah,
weeks.
kind of
Let's talk
insane.
about this game.
Yeah, Jason, you were sunk because Jeremy had the power of two quarterbacks against you. I mean, there was the one you expected, Jaden Daniels, his mighty 45 points, but you were playing against Kirk Cousins too. Five turnovers. Five turnovers to the Charger defense. No wonder you lost. Can't
Yeah.
beat two quarterbacks.
No, you can't. We're not even a two
Yeah.
quarterback league. You're exactly right.
No, Jeremy figured out a way. Uh, Jaden Daniels, two big boy games in a row. I guess it's
Yeah.
safe to say he's back.
Yeah.
Uh, Kittle with a season low, gross score, but I mean, you throw that game out the window with the snow and the San Francisco just seemed like they hadn't seen snow before. So they were helpless.
Yeah.
Mike Evans was not helpless. He's a bad mofo.
Yeah.
Um, Tyreek Hill, best game since week one. Touchdowns 3 of the last 4 weeks. Like Nico feels like a full go. Justin Jefferson, he's like second in yards, I think, in the league. So I mean, there's a chance these guys could all just take off. I mean, you can tell yourself that story if you gotta, you're having a hard time falling asleep at night worrying about it. Like, there's a path. Um, I don't know, Jason. As somebody that I know, you track the season scores, and you've already mentioned that you're now number 12. I think Mahoney is 11, and you're 12. Are are your holidays in danger of being ruined?
Well, I actually would like to take a moment to recommend something else.
Oh,
Uh,
good. Another technique. Good. We need this mental health break.
yeah, so I'd like to recommend uh, if you don't like watching football, you could watch a show. Uh,
Oh,
and so it could be a movie, could be a television show. There's lots of different streaming services. I'm actually going to recommend a show right now. I'm going to recommend a show on Netflix. It's called A Man on the Inside,
oh,
starring my one of my favorite people, Ted Danson.
oh, he's
So
great.
Ted Danson, it seems like Michael Schur, the creator of The Office, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Good Place. Really,
Hmm.
all of my favorite shows are created by one man, Mike Schur. So Mike Schur created a show about Ted Danson going undercover in a retirement community in San Francisco solving a crime. Now, I don't know how Mike Schur got into my brain because I have
Uh,
been caring for people in retirement centers for the last 25 years. My parents moved just in down the street from my house into a retirement community. I took them out to lunch today to recommend this show to my parents because it's like the world inside my brain was put into my favorite city with my favorite actor, with my favorite writer. So I want to highly recommend A Man on the Inside. If you're having a hard time watching football, this is a great show. It's just 8 episodes, and it's just a delight and a joy. So if you're having a hard time, I recommend watching the show, and I recommend A Man on the Inside.
yeah.
There you go.
Sorry. I just
Thanks.
had a really horrible joke. I don't want to say it. I want to keep our show like where you can click
Yeah,
that
we
kids
are
button.
already to PG-13. So the
I
game of
know.
the week was
Man, it
brought
was a
to
good
you
one.
by Cattleman's Cafe.
Oh yes, what
Uh,
a time.
So
Go get
as a
your cold
reminder, thank
breakfast.
you to Cattleman's for sponsoring the show for the free burrito that they comped Aaron last week that Josh didn't have to pay. That Josh didn't have to
Yep,
pay for. Again, thanks to Cattleman's Cafe for
incorrect.
the free burrito because they not only did they bring it out late, they brought it out cold, which actually is a kind of an impossible thing to do to not only bring it out late, but to have it be
Yeah.
cold. I've been thinking about that for a week now. Like, how did they not only bring it out late, but then how was it also cold? So thanks
Yeah.
to Cattleman's Cafe for comping that burrito on Josh's bill as we go to our team of the week, which was the game of the week, which was not the game of the week.
No, no. Just another victim laid at the altar of the Pharisees. Lamar just doing his Lamar things. The running backs combined for 37, receivers for 24, kicker and defense, he gets 30 out of those. Every position except tight end is just firing high octane. And then on the other side, just poor Brandon. Two starters on his team out for the season this week. Uh, Christian McCaffrey, Taysom Hill down for the count. Uh, I mean, Hill going down frees the path to Brock Bowers, I guess. Is so that's like maybe that's okay, but you know, I don't know. UGLY game for Brandon. This I you feel bad for the guy. This is just a horrifying week.
Yeah. He was able to justify the week by saying no matter who he started, he would have lost by a ton of points because of what the Pharisees did to him.
The mental
But
health break then. Yeah.
and then but yeah, it's fantastic. We all need them. We all need them. I've got some more suggestions later. But yeah, the idea of losing two starters, including CMC, but I gotta say, I was so pleased to have Jordan Mason on my team. So excited to be able to have a starting running back ready to go. Uh,
Right.
Super pumped. I'd kept Isaac Garindo on my bench for weeks at a time, but with all that bias happening in week 14, which I've got a bone to pick with the NFL with having all of these huge games, huge bias happening on a week 14. What are we doing, NFL?
Shame.
My goodness, I absolutely hate it. But Brandon has Isaac on his bench. So not only does he have a starter coming up with Brock Bowers, who finally gets a chance to be a starter on Brandon's team, who's the best receiver in the NFL, maybe for sure, tight end.
Unstoppable.
Yeah, he looks incredible.
Yeah.
And so he does have a chance to just plug and play Isaac as somehow carrying the third string running back for the San Francisco 49ers already on his team. Amazing job.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
guy's a great coach. I'm not
Good
worried
GM.
about Brandon. I think he's going to make the playoffs really without much trouble. Uh, so uh, yeah, he's got a really good team. He's got a great team. He just can't compete with the team that is
Yeah.
Apex Mountain right now. That's the Pharisees.
Yeah, Pharisees are just on another tier.
Absolutely. So many points. I
Still
don't know.
not number one in total points, baby.
Oh, let's talk about those league standings and total points. So the Pharisees, absolutely at the top of the league with 9 wins. Russell Sweat
Yeah,
Sox with 8, and then more teams than we can count with 6 and 7 wins.
just
Look at
gridlocked.
this.
Just everybody's alive.
Incredible. This is the best.
Yeah,
This is the absolute best. You couldn't
yeah,
ask for anything more with the league.
yeah.
I can't remember a time when everything seemed in play. Everything seemed in play going into the last week. It is absolutely an absolute delight.
It's the best. No, I mean, it's not the best being one of the teams that's kind of like, let me get out, let me get in there. But no, it's awesome.
I mean, you right now would be the 3 seed, with the potential, to win your division. There's also something is there's a chance you don't make the playoffs.
Yeah, yeah. Mathematically, the winner between Jeff and I wins the division, and the loser could just not make it at all. A
Just
lot of dominoes have to fall each way, but
right,
yeah,
right. Thanks to Josh for his playoff scenarios he posted on the board. But this is your division. Obviously, the eruption division is absolutely the most
mm,
uh, just tantalizing right now when it comes to looking at the week. But you did mention the point standings.
yeah.
How about the Cobras at the very very top with
Just,
18-point lead with 1 week to go for points champ in the regular season?
yeah.
Always a historic mark. And let's just go ahead. Holy smokes. There are 2 hosts of this show every week that give their time and their energy, just to, to hopefully provide a little bit of entertainment for league mates as well as Josh's family. And then we've got, you've scored 256.3 points, more than your co-host over the last,
Eh,
13 weeks, which is an average of, I don't know if you know this, 19.7 points a game per week. You score more than me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Not the
Oh,
only place I score more than you, baby. Yeah.
let's, let's talk about another opportunity for you to have some fun. If you don't necessarily like fantasy football, just want to recommend a podcast or two.
Oh,
Podcast or like a radio show, but there's some sponsors at time, but they're just really fun to listen to. I'm recommending a podcast by Pushkin Industries, started by my friend and yours, Malcolm Gladwell. It's called Against the Rules by Michael Lewis. Now, I am a huge Michael Lewis fan. Michael Lewis is tremendous. He's obviously probably most known for Moneyball, Liar's
mm,
Poker. He has this podcast. This is season 4 of this podcast, and I got to say, this is the best season yet of all of his Against the Rules podcasts. I recommend everything that Michael Lewis does. I feel like he's a great writer, he's a great podcaster. But this season on fans and the rise of sports gambling is
mm.
fascinating. So he talks about where DraftKings and where FanDuel started and where they're going, and really the entrapment that lies with a lot of our young men in society right now, that just the accessibility and the conversation surrounding sports is really a kind of a potential, just a trouble for, I think, even society itself. I find it interesting myself as I think about fantasy football and this
Jason,
show.
I want you to pump your brakes a little bit because we're trying to negotiate a sponsorship with DraftKings, and I feel like you might be just pooping all over that. So maybe can we just
Hey,
just
we got
yeah,
to
we got
keep
your recommendation. Thank you.
we got
Good
to keep
podcast.
we got to keep the podcast first.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that sounds
let's
riveting.
let's talk about the best ball league. Smitty continues his absolute free fall in this league as well, scoring the least amount of points, and is in danger of missing the playoffs. Our team of the week is led by Russell Hustle and Bustle, Russell Wilson for the Galloping Ghosts,
Yeah,
uh,
who
and the
picks?
Pittsburgh Steelers. There with 19 points. Josh almost gets to 200 points this week. And our best ball league standings, again, the
Mm.
Gridiron Vapors, just absolutely running away with everything, with
Not
Mahoney with
even.
a significant lead
Yeah,
in the Southern Division as well.
yeah.
Uh, who knows how the playoffs works with this? Nobody knows. Not even Josh. Not
It's a
even Josh
mystery.
knows how the playoffs work. Josh, if you'll tell us, tell us how it works. That'd be great. I don't remember. It's something like the 1 seed and the 2 seed are the leaders of each division after the first 14 rounds, and then it goes by victory points to fill that out. But I'm not sure if there's a bye. We're not sure. No one knows. So, Josh, if you know, let us know how that works. Really, another
Ah,
incredible moment here. Let's go,
almost. Brandon
Brandon.
almost did it.
Let's go, Brandon.
Yeah.
16-0 in the Week 13 picks
Yeah.
contest.
Yeah. Look at that.
From Thursday at 11:30 until midnight on Monday night,
Yeah.
every single game that's played, Brandon goes 16-0. Just
Yeah.
congratulations.
Beautiful.
I would have won the tiebreaker because I guessed 80 points in the in the game on Monday night. And I was close. I think there were how many 73 last night in the game?
He's outrageous. Yeah. Yeah.
But we have a new leader. We have a new leader of the picks contest. Josh, as you saw on the last slide, went 12-4.
Mm.
You went
It's not good enough.
14-2, and you jumped him. So you were at the top. The first time we've had since I think first time we've had team go over 70% for the last number of weeks. We've kind of been right underneath that. So congrats to you and to Josh
leapfrog.
tracking that 70%. But right behind you, Brandon and the Pharisees as well. So really anything can happen in the picks contest amongst those top 5 or so. Super contest. One of the teammates actually forgot about making the picks. His name was John Middendorf. Another one, the guy who runs the contest, he also forgot about making his picks. And so he only had 5 games left. 3 games on Sunday afternoon, the Sunday night game, a Monday night game. And he chose all 5 of them correct, which is kind of shocking.
Like a savant. You're like Rain Man.
You and I both go 5 for 5 in the super contest this week. Chris also has a 5-point, 2 5-point weeks as well. Weiss and Whiteside yet to have a 5-pointer, but this was the most green we have had all season. I didn't want to put any red on John's just to kind of ruin how beautiful the green was on this. But so congrats to you and me on our week. And then I have a 2.5 game lead over Weiss, but anything can happen we'll go through the regular season. And it's just I had a lot of fun with this contest. Thanks for those who chose to participate. And now, before we get to the Week 14 preview show, just a recommendation for those of you for looking for some connection, looking for some something to happen when maybe your football team's not doing as well as you would have hoped. Join a community of faith. And I see this sign from time to time. So please invite someone to church this month. And I just want to invite the league to come to the Christmas Eve service at Oklahoma City First Church of the Nazarene. That's going to be held this year on December 24th at 6 p.m. And it's just a great service. And so whether you live in Oklahoma City or not, you're welcome to this beautiful service. It's really a low entry point into just a really fun night with some friends. Pastor John always sings, and there's some candles. The preacher doesn't preach. It's just kind of, if he preaches at all, it's just like kind of a little like a kind of Jesus is born, he loves you kind of story. But it's just really a fun evening. Candles are always very special. Sing a lot of carols. But yeah, so if you're looking for some fun in the midst of maybe feel like you're walking the wilderness with a poor fantasy season, would recommend, no matter where you are, even if you're not a person of faith, to join a community of faith where you might be able to find some meaning and some connection, whether Jesus is a part of your life or not. So welcome to another recommendation from me, joining a community of faith before we hit the Week 14 preview.
That was nice, Jason. That was
Thank
real
you.
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Chris versus Josh. I mean, this is a loser leaves town match for real. Like, how is that possible that I, Mahoney, am not in the game of the week with the Ghosts? We clearly have been the last 4 weeks, 3 weeks in the top 4 of both winning, both of us, and we're not. Mahoney has never been in the game of the week. Sorry about the mouse. Sell it. Make your case. That's all I got.
You have never been in the game of the week this year.
Get out of here. Get out of here. Who's in charge
of making this decision.
Try to just be better, and you'll get in games of the week.
Ah, oh, that's it. Oh, that's it.
I have not
It's gonna be a
tracked.
long ride to Dallas.
I have not tracked if everybody had a chance to be featured in the game of the week. Surely by this time, with two people in it each week, 24 to, I guess, 28 different people had the potential to be in the game of the week, and Chris left out is hilarious to me.
Yeah, it was. Oh, it's an oversight, really. Sorry. Um,
It's funnier that it's an oversight. It would not even be funny if it was like calculated. It would be just, but it wasn't even calculated. That's what makes it so funny to me.
all right, let's look at the game. So,
Okay.
Mahoney, he's going to play Cooper Rush because he's going to the game, and nobody loves starting a player he's going to see in person as much as Lahan. Like that is.
What time are we going? Did I not get invited to the Cincinnati at Dallas Week 14 Monday Night Football game? I work on Sundays but not on Mondays. What are you who's
Oh,
going?
me, Chris, and Caden. Come beat up Caden. Take his spot.
I'll beat him up. I'll beat him up right now. Is he at your house? I'm coming. I'm coming for Caden
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
he's mad about it now. He's got words for you.
Excuse me, Jason.
Hey, Caden,
Yes, sir.
I've got tickets to a Thunder game that you can take your dad to. I'll trade you two tickets for a Thunder game for your seat for the Monday Night Football game. Look at my calendar, Aaron. Look at my calendar on Monday. Nothing. There's nothing on my calendar on Monday. There's not nothing. That's the only day in the month of December. There's nothing on my calendar. Caden, I've got two tickets. I've got two tickets to a Thunder game that you of your choice for trading out for your one seat in your dad and your
Parking.
friend's car. Hey guys, I actually might see if I can just buy one of those standing room only passes and just come down there and watch the game with you guys.
We got
Is there
room in the car, right? Yeah, we got room in the car.
okay. Can I
We'll
join you
record
guys?
the show on the ride home.
That sounds amazing. Okay. If only for the picture opportunity. So I could buy one of the standing room onlys, and because the Dallas is so bad, hopefully your expensive tickets, there's just going to be a seat open next to you. I could just go sit next to you. That'll be my plan.
Yeah, get with Chris after the show and
Oh
figure
man,
out-
this is
yeah.
great. What a show. This is going to be an hour and a half long. So let's keep going as you
Yeah.
break down the Cooper Rush game.
Oh yeah.
That's if Cooper Rush on Monday night, he gets to watch his quarterback live in action take down the Ghosts for the chance to maybe make the playoffs.
Yeah, how fun. Yeah. So and I don't know. I kind of like Cooper to put up. I mean, it's the Bengals, so he's probably going to have a lot of points. I still think the Tua advantage is better, but I mean, Chris is going to be frisky with that Bengals defense just letting everything through. I don't know. I think Jacobs, Achane, that's a wash. Two heavyweights going head to head. I do like James Cook more than Tyrone Tracy, although you can run all over the Saints. Both teams at wide receiver just make me shake my head. I guess I like Jacoby Myers to be the highest scorer. I don't think Judy can keep it up. I think that was like some special motivation against his old team. But who knows? I mean, he proved he can just light it up. So maybe we're about to see one of those 4 or 5 week runs where somebody just carries the team to a championship. It could go either way with Judy. He might have no catches next week either. It could go either way. If either team gets anything out of tight end, I'd say they're fortunate. Weiss has won 4 in a row, and I think it ends here at the hands of Officer Mahoney.
Oh my gosh. I'm taking Mahoney just for the juice. I want to watch Cooper Rush take down the Ghosts. I think that the Ghosts are playing for next year. I think that they know that they don't have what it takes to be able to take down 3 straight playoff wins with the team that he's put together. I don't think the Ghost is even gonna get mad losing this game potentially, but I'm gonna take Lahan because I can't wait to be sitting in that car on the ride home with the juice that he's gonna have, taking a victory at the hands of Cooper Rush taking down the Ghosts. What a night that's gonna be coming on
Jason,
Monday night.
I,
So,
I think you're
uh,
forgetting something about Josh, though.
oh, what's that?
Yeah, I think you're forgetting he has 4 first round draft picks. So he's trying to win because he's got those picks no matter what. It's not like he needs his 1st round pick to be good.
Yeah, that's true.
He's picking all over the 1st round. He's trying to win this thing.
Yeah, that's true. He sent me some trade offers to try to get my number one pick. Uh, so he's trying to pick up five,
You're trying to get the whole 1st round.
the whole first round.
Okay, sorry, we can move on. I think his motivation is high.
You know what? Uh, Gosh, yeah, I'm still taking Mahoney just because the idea of I do like your theory of Judy because it seems like every year there's a chance that this one random receiver from the Titans or the Browns
Yeah,
or some AFC North or AFC South teams just like who is what they're doing what
yeah, yeah.
uh
Westbrook
they're
Akine.
yeah yeah we can only hope okay, the matchups this week are just so
Yeah,
juicy. Tell us about this one
yeah.
because it's a great game.
Yeah, it's confusing because these two teams just recently traded quarterbacks. So it's going to be awesome if they both play their Thursday night quarterbacks against each other.
I hope so.
Uh,
It's what they have slotted now.
yeah, that's what I want. Saquon Barkley, number one running back by a good margin. He's playing the Panthers. Like, oh no, big edge for John. But don't sleep on what Tony Pollard could do to the Jaguars. It's not like they're any better. Dowdle could go off versus the Bengals. Like that wouldn't surprise me. They try to do some ball control. Um, Najee's been running hard. This feels pretty even. I don't know. I could see CeeDee Lamb in for a gigantic night. Big start Thursday all the way through Monday night. Like it's got great game flow.
Yep.
Um, Jay's lost 4 in a row, and I'm afraid the Hounds stretch it to 5.
Gosh. I have the Hounds picked two for the win. I usually don't pick against Jay. I just what I see I feel like there's more blue chippers on this other side of the ball, and I think the Hounds are gonna take it. Um, Yeah, but it's a great game, especially that Thursday night game. It's actually a really good Thursday night game. I actually
Yeah.
think, a lot of times the Thursday night games are kind of just, not that exciting, but it's a great matchup. It's a great rivalry. And it's great for the league. So another good game here, as we talk about the Rompers versus the Sox.
Yeah. Quarterback feels pretty even. Like both these guys have just been dealing. Shane's running backs are very good, but the Pharisees are the only team that really matches what Chad can do at running back, I feel like. So that's an edge for Chad. Um, Wide receiver feels tilted towards Shane, but I don't really see anybody going off except A.J. Brown with the Panthers. I kind of like that. I think Chad has a big edge at tight end, though, and I think he gets the Rowdies that 8th win.
Wow. Okay. I think the Russell Sweat Sox are too good with Josh Allen, although Shake and Bake's been really fun. I'm taking the Sweat Sox to win here, and I don't know what it all means if who gets into the which playoff spot. It seems above my pay grade. So thanks for those people doing some hard work. But we have another game here of Let's Go Brandon versus the Dude Abides.
Yeah, this quarterback feels pretty even here. Jaden Daniels is on bye, so Carr's got to turn to Kyler Murray. Real interested to see here who Brandon's going to sit at running back.
He's got
Um,
Montgomery and Garindo in there right now.
yeah, I don't know. I feel like Alvin Kamara is going to be hammer time versus the Giants, especially with Dexter Lawrence out. I think running back is going to be a big edge for Jeremy. But you never know. Montgomery could pop up for 2. I don't know. Wide receiver's really fun here, though. Like Neighbors and Evans, I think they both go off. I do like Brandon's number 2 or even number 3 more than what Jeremy will play. And tight end, though. Bowers versus Kittle. Like, that's as good as it gets.
Yeah, it really is.
Um, I'm going to say, let's go, Brandon. 8 wins.
Yeah, for sure. Brandon to be able to, like we said earlier in the show, be able to slot in the best tight end and who could be a top 7, 8 running back in Garindo with nobody else taking carries for
Yeah.
San Francisco is
Yeah. Just
incredible. Just incredible. In fact, it may be what his team needed to be able to make a run at the championship. So I really like Brandon's team, and I'm going to take him for a win here. And I like him heading into the playoffs. Uh,
oh
and now
boy.
we've got a team with only 2 wins since the calendar turned back in September. With 2 wins since September, you have a team here playing the best team in the league. So how do you see this one? What are your notes on this? On this really quite a tale of two different teams.
This is this is such a grody quarterback matchup. Just yuck. Like, good luck with this nonsense. Like Will Levis versus Derek Carr. I mean, they've both put up big numbers. It's possible. They're both capable. Uh, I don't
Oh
know.
man.
John's new running game is partially neutered with Mixon on bye, but he's still got that ball named Bijan Robinson. I think he's going to outplay Kenneth Walker. Um, wide receivers, the bread and butter. That's the battle between you guys. Bunch of big names, big games. Uh, Not a big name, but yeah, Nick Westbrook Akine that we just name dropped a minute ago. He's got 4 touchdowns in the last 3 weeks, so he's just on fire. Great find there. Um, I think you have the edge at tight end and kicker, but it's not enough to take down the Pharisees, and even in this weakened state. I'm going to say True John win.
Yeah, you don't think that Will Levis to Nick Westbrook Akine is just what the doctor ordered on
It's
week 14 with my playoff life at stake? You don't believe in the Levis to Westbrook Akine? I believe that my devotion to Russell Westbrook is going to make itself shine forth in this incredible matchup on Sunday at noon, in which Will Levis continues to. So you're saying that you don't think that there's going to be any regression to the mean with Westbrook Akine, who has more touchdowns per catch than most players have the ability to have first downs per catch. He has more touchdowns per catch than the best players in the league have actual first downs per catch. You don't think there's going to be regression to the mean? How can you not believe, Aaron? How can you not believe that it's going to happen? I tell you what, I am terrified of your friend of mine, Jameis Winston, going against the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday at noon. I am
That's a lot
terrified
of
of
points
that.
there.
I don't think
Yeah.
I can beat John, even though Lamar Jackson and 5 of his 7 running backs are on bye. He has 7 running backs. 5 of them are on bye, and I don't think I can win. But I'm picking myself to win
Yeah.
that game with some Levis versus Westbrook magic, and I think I'm going to go to the playoffs because otherwise, what else am I going to do besides maybe some spending time with my family and friends?
Oh, that's
Perhaps
nice.
maybe playing a board game.
Oh,
Usually not somebody who plays board games because I'm too busy watching my fantasy football teams, but I'm going to recommend the board game Farkle. Now,
oh, Farkle.
Farkle is a dice game,
Mm.
but also something that you and Pastor John believe is what the phrase is for rock paper scissors. And I would
Yeah,
like to play
Farkle.
you right now in a round of rock paper scissors before the show ends.
Oh,
Rock
yeah.
paper scissors, best out of 3. The winner of us will play Chris, and then we'll play Chris.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
ready?
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors. Ready?
Got it.
We're going to go on shoot. Rock, paper.
Wait, what? What is shoot? What does that mean?
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Okay, got it.
You ready?
Yes, ready.
Paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, you won the first one. I think that you saw what I was going to do, and then you went with yours.
I
So,
can't see through these. What are you talking
Ready?
about?
Okay.
Yeah.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh,
Okay, I got you
Oh,
there. Best 2
okay.
out of 3. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I got you.
Oh, I'm defeated.
I got you there. And then so
Yeah.
we can either end the show playing a game of Farkle. Oh wait, we got to name a game of the week.
Oh, game of the week.
One more game. Hopefully it's Chris. Hopefully it's Chris. Hopefully it's Chris.
Oh, is it gonna be Chris? Let's see. Oh,
We have a sponsor.
look at that
What a
sponsor. They're so
show.
handsome.
Tell us about you. You secured one more sponsorship for us. Tell us about this.
Yeah, yeah. This
duo.
week's game of the week is brought to you by the Logan team, the Realty team, for all your realty needs.
So if I'm thinking about
you know,
buying a house or if I'm thinking about selling a house, I should call Jeff and Maria.
Yes, and they can be very discreet.
Oh, nice.
This is
Nice.
like the worst. I'm not the Ghost and Mahoney are not the game of the week, and now the sponsor is the Logan Real Estate Team. What kind of double edge? Like, just am I just bent over right here? I would like for the league to know that I also am a realtor and can handle your needs as expected. Ugh.
Man, the wrath of Mahoney this week.
Well,
Hey,
thank you to Jeff and Maria. Can you tell your friend or Caden that if his dad wants to sponsor the show, that we're open to having him sponsor next week's game of the week. And
we
I
are
have a
available.
feeling I know who's going to be featured next week in the game of the week. Matchups be damned. I think we
Yeah,
know who's going to be in the game of the week next week. But big thanks to
maybe it costs as little as some nachos at the Cowboys game.
oh man, $17
Jason,
nachos with pulled pork on them. Uh,
mm, I do have some serious thing to bring up though. When I was researching the Logan team as the sponsor,
Yeah.
there's also a Logan Realty team in Anchorage, and it's a different couple. And I don't know if this is a franchise, like if Jeff and Maria are franchising out, or if they're gonna have to battle these two to the death for the rights of the name. But I want to make sure Jeff knows that there's this rival Logan team out there in Alaska.
Well, hey, if Chris doesn't buy you some nachos next week at the game to sponsor the game of the week, maybe we can reach out to that Anchorage couple to see if they want to be a sponsor for
Perfect.
next week's show.
We'll get all the Logan teams from around the world. It's perfect.
Oh man, Jeff and Maria, you do a great job. Who knows if you're better than Chris? I guess people would have to find out if you sponsor the show with some pulled pork or maybe even brisket nachos. Those are $24.
Good
$24
stuff.
at Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Because the game of the week, folks, is this. It's the Cobras versus the Rhinos. Aaron, break it down.
Yeah, Aaron versus Jeff. Winner of this game wins the division, claims the 3 seed. Loser might be out. That's some stakes. I don't know which quarterback Jeff's going to land on, if he's going to stick with Patrick Mahomes. Either way, I like Joe Burrow versus Dallas better than any of the other quarterbacks he's going to throw at me. Jeff has no running back that intimidates me. Like Breece Hall hasn't been awesome, but I think he does give me an edge here. I think we're looking at 3 wide versus 3 wide, so that's fun. Some big dogs on both sides. Could see that going either way. Tight end, huge edge for Jeff. You know, when you want it the most, there's no easy way out. That's the way it is, Jason. Cobras win.
Oh man. I'm gonna take the Rhinos just because I think nothing would be more hilarious than both of us missing the playoffs.
And that sad drive home from Dallas.
I think that nothing would be worse than you just having Joe Burrow just stink it up against Dallas. You're conflicted. It's just the worst time. There'd be nothing funnier, not on Monday night or Tuesday morning, but 5 years from now, thinking back to this lost season, which we spent more hours than anybody can calculate on this dumb show that we hope that some people watch. We don't really know if anybody watches. But you know what? We are thankful for all the viewers. Lots of good commentary on the message board. Thanks for watching. This had to be the longest show of any of our 3 years. Super fun. Big shout out to our special and surprise for me guests, Caden and Chris. Come on in, guys. Let's take a screenshot of this moment. Let's get a little screenshot here. Come on in the screen. All 4 of us. Oh, look at this. Ready? On the count of 3, we'll take a picture. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it's a great photo. You guys, thanks for watching. This is the best week of the year. It's the last week of the regular season before the playoff begins. Everyone's alive. It's the most exciting week of the year. So it had to be the longest show. Thanks so much for all of your support. Chris, thanks for being such a great commish. Caden, thanks for being such a good heel. Worst of luck.
Jason, my heart.
Worst of luck to the Cobras and worst of luck to Lahan. Love you guys. See ya.
See you, Jason. Good job.
Good job by you.